the meeting room.
Oh, wow. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming. I know that you're seeing a lot of new faces. I might be a new face to you as well. But so today we have CP Future Department taking over Action Academy, as you may know it. And the way we're going to do that is basically to show you how we do things in Action Academy. So we're going to start off with some basic housekeeping, then tell you about how Action Academy is going, give you some data points about Action Academy, and as well as introduce the new crew leads that we have. And we also have some students on here. So shout out to them for coming, because this is actually like a requirement. Not a requirement, but like this is a part of one of the requirements that they can complete, which is an action hour for community meetings. Yes, thank you so much, Juliana. Whoop, whoop. But okay, so I'm
Great.
going okay, go ahead, Lucy.
Oh no, I was gonna say I just wanted to say hi to some folks here. I see Tyra out there. I see Molly and Helen. Welcome. We usually have our usuals that come into our monthly meetings. I see, I see some folks here that are in our community that, again, this is an Action Academy CP Future takeover. Last week, we didn't host our community meeting that are normally on the first of Thursdays every single month because last week was a holiday. Wanted to give everybody time to just take a breath and rest and have some good barbecue. However, you felt like you wanted to celebrate our independence and maybe not celebrate it that much. But we wanted to also still host a meeting because it is Action Academy season. And we're hosting tonight's community meeting to kind of give you a glimpse of what has been happening since the start of the cohort. We have an amazing cohort that is also in attendance tonight. As Blossom said, it's an action hour for them, and it's also just an easy way for them to meet the other community members we have at CP. We have the largest cohort we've ever had in history of Action Academy. We have we also have a large number of crew leads. Many of them came to Seattle just this past June to do their Seattle Civics Leadership Retreat. And that was really, really fun, right, team? Some head nods, please. Just don't leave me hanging out here. Thank you very much. Okay. So we're hoping that, you like what you see tonight. There's people that you have yet to meet, but today's not the first time that you're going to be interacting with them. A lot of our CP members know that when it's Action Academy season, we flood the system very much. So this is just one of those spaces where you get to see, our next generation leaders. Some of them are already looking at what the possibility looks like for them to be a crew lead next year. So all good things. And we just have, thank you, absolutely. So we're just going to show a few pieces of slides for tonight just to kind of get us through our agenda. But one of the things that's going to be different this evening is we want to highlight our crew leads. Our crew leads are the amazing leadership team that mentors the current cohort of Action Academy participants. Every year, we always recruit crew leads into our system that mentor and guide the current cohort for that particular summer. And we wanted to go big this year because we knew it was a big election cycle. Many of them totally responded to our ask. So we have a total of 24, right, Blossom? Actually, that may be not quite the right number. What's the number here?
22, and then
22, okay. So 22 crew leads from across our focus states, going to mentor and guide the current cohort. And the cool thing about this particular experience is that they were participants at one point in their academy journey as well. So happy to highlight them tonight. They have chosen their states. And this past week, the students also got to self-select a state that they will journey through the academy with to learn about the topics every week that's curated about what expands or suppresses democracy in the states that we're focusing in this year: Wisconsin, California, Texas, New York, the list goes on, so that when they're ready to travel with us in the fall, they'll have a lot more context as to why they have to go turn out that vote behind that door. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. Give me a few seconds. All right, I have Chloe to my screen. You see it? Lovely. Okay, so once again, everybody, welcome. This is our monthly community meeting for July, a rescheduled version for the July 4th being July 11th. Also, it's 7-Eleven, so go get your free Slurpees. But I heard the lines are really, really long. So if you haven't done that already, maybe out of luck. But again, 7-Eleven to commemorate, free Slurpee Day at 7-Eleven. But today, it's not just Common Power, but it is an Action Academy takeover for our community meeting. I know, nod to the cool animations I love to do on my slides. But to remind everybody who the CP Future Dream Team is, and there's a big group of that this year. Like we said, the bunch of crew leads have decided to join our ecosystem to mentor and guide the cohort of 200 plus students in our academy. So we have Kyra leading the media group. We have Ellie making sure the back end systems are fully functioning, and Blossom just overall making sure the day-to-day programming of our of Action Academy is functional. And then the Miss Wonderful September over here, who's actually no longer that small. She's 4 years old now and fully an adult practically in her mind. So you've seen them, you've interacted with them, and just a wonderful set of people that I get to work with. But again, like I said today, this is my dream team for this year, and what a great team to go and navigate all of the uncertainties that we're going to be going into the fall this year. So what is this cohort all about? I want to highlight this piece of I know maybe you're looking at a phone or a smaller screen for this particular slide, but we're not going to go into too much detail about this slide, but I just want to highlight two people who decided to take the analytics of the data that we have in our 2024 cohort to the art and creativity of this person's mind as well. So Alejandra and Eric, if you can unmute here with me, and can you just share with us just kind of a snapshot of what our cohort looks like for this year?
Yes, we'd love to. I'm Eric. You guys will hear more about me during the Battle of the States segment later. Um, but yeah, so as you can see, we've got a strong Washington core. You'll see that in the where our students are from and the colleges they go to. Unfortunately, a lot of Huskies. Me myself, I'm a Coug, so but yeah. Despite that strong core, we have a very diverse and wide range of colleges and states represented. Um, and then moving on to college majors, of course, we have a lot of political science majors because, you know, politics. But we also have a wide range of other things, just in the top four, we're covering psychology, business, education. But beyond those, we saw dozens of different majors. Um, and then as far as education phase, we have a strong early college lean. You'll notice that it says high school. That is because this data is from the applications, which were um, filed earlier in the year, back when they were in high school. But most of our students are now in college. Well, almost all of them. But yeah, if Alejandra wants to take it away.
Yes, thank you, Eric. Hi, everyone. My name is Alejandra. And as well, like Eric said, you're going to hear a little bit more about me with the Battle of the States. But from the forums, we found out that a lot of students get their news from social media, and then they get the least amount from academia. And then we can see down here the most exciting part of the program. These are all like very high numbers because they could pick multiple choices, but a lot of them chose skill training, leadership development, voting rights, history, community, advocacy, and travel, which are all things that you can get and benefit from this program. And we have more than half of students that are BIPOC. and then how they heard about us. So majority of our students heard about us through school. Like for example, as we saw in the colleges, we see that University of Washington as well as Oglethorpe are one of our largest group of students. And a lot of students also heard from us from referral or alumni. And we actually had 14.6% of students hear from us through social media, which is kind of pretty great number since we recently started using our social media. But yeah.
All right, thank you so much for that, Eric and Alejandra. They took the time to really just analyze our data for this year's cohort and just kind of show us a snapshot with better visuals than just a bunch of spreadsheets. I know some of you may like spreadsheets, to just kind of go over some of our numbers. And so I want to actually kind of focus a little bit on the news source. So 82%, almost 83% of our students get their news from social media. And when we started to see the rise in those numbers, it was a reaction of ours to implement a really, really robust media literacy curriculum. And we launched that about 2 years ago with wonderful partners like Ahmed Baba from Rant Media and FGA Feel Good Action. And we came up with a 16-page media literacy toolkit that's absolutely free on our website. But it just kind of shows you some tips and best practices and how you're not caught in the algorithm, or how to make sure that like you give yourself some distance, or go fact check on your own. So lots of tips for young people and how they are using that platform. Again, over 80% of their sources come from that. So we are proud of that curriculum, and it is embedded throughout our academy to make sure that we ourselves are, you know, are good stewards of the information that we take in, and then also good stewards of the information we're distributing out there as well. So thank you, Alejandra and Eric, for giving us a snapshot of what the current cohort looks like. And out of this cohort are other future crew leads and campus leads, who will make a choice after the academy that they want to pursue this journey with us. And that's always, always exciting because we get to know the students a lot more, and we get to spend some more time with them beyond the academy. All right. I think this is my...
We're gonna have Ellie talk about the committees first. So
okay.
Because we had such a big cohort, we actually planned a new system, and we have a new kind of hierarchy, if that makes sense, of how we do things. So we have region leads who help me manage all the 20-something crew leads, but also to bring more kinship, community, and as well as like giving the crew leads something to do, we have committees. And Ellie will discuss what these 3 committees are and what they do. Go ahead, Ellie.
Yeah, so the beginning of everything, we planned for a big cohort. So at the beginning of this year, which also means we have a big leadership team. So you'll hear about the crew leads in a little bit, about their position, what they do. But we created committees that allowed our team of about 28 leaders to manage important responsibilities for our cohort to be successful. So we have the ops committee, which is run by me. We manage student attendance from missing sessions and making sure that they make up the sessions. And also Eric and Alejandra are part of it. They did the whole stats of the whole Action Academy. So that's kind of like an example of what they also do. Another committee that I also run is the Action Committee that curates and tracks the students' action hours from phone banking, text banking, postcarding, just all of that. So if you see them in the community, those are the students that are coming in from the action hours. And then there's the training committee with Blossom that develops and facilitates training curriculum, like how to prepare to volunteer with CP and life after the academy. And then we also have a media committee that Kyra leads to create and manage content on our social media platforms. And they have been amazing. So if you follow Common Power Future on Instagram, you have been able to see some of those. Kyra, do you have any of like examples to share with us that have been some favorites?
Hey everyone, sorry I have to keep my camera off. I'm currently putting baby to sleep. But Our media team has been really good at staying up to date on not just funny trends, but also the news, constantly finding different ways to talk about what's happening in our country and worldwide in a digestible way. We had, I think, 5 members of our committee, and each of them come up with a new trend, a new post each week. So we've been doing word of the day, which has been getting a lot of likes, a lot of views. That's been going great. We've also been trying to do modern day political cartoons, aka memes. Those have been great. Unfortunately, our visual is not working tonight, but follow us on our Instagram. We go live each Friday and unpack what we learned in session. We talk to people in the chat, and it's a way to get those students who aren't quite ready for Action Academy excited for next year's cohort.
Yeah, and I love that they're able to take the conversation that we have in session and extend it outside of the academy. So they can get partisan if they like. They're actually sharing a lot of information and analysis from their own viewpoint. So having these lives, and also, again, another space that they can have political discourse and normalize the way that they think through some of these issues is really, really been really powerful. So if you haven't, if you are already following CP on Instagram, follow us at our, what is it, Common Power Future. We'll put that in chat so you guys can know exactly the spelling on that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was honored to be mememized. Is that how we want to call it?
Yes,
So,
and actually, I think I got it to work. So you guys, let's all see Larcy.
Oh my
meme.
goodness, please say you got it to work. Yeah.
I think I did. So there's a lot going on here. So I'm gonna let Kyra explain all the different things that are going on here. As you can see, there's a computer, there's the Larcy being memized, there's also a poster.
Yes,
Just
thank you
tell us
so
about
much.
that.
Yeah, so if you actually can keep playing the video, just mute it. I don't know why when I put it in the PowerPoint and I hit mute for it, it like jacked it up. But so this is our media team essentially. We're using our laptops, our computers, and we're using classic flyers. So the first week of Action Academy, I basically told the team, find a trend, make a video. And they went crazy, okay? So they memeified Larcy basically celebrating Zoom, $1,000. Yeah, I'm doing that. We also were able to do a cute little everybody wave and say hi video for our cohort during orientation for them to get to know each other. If any of you guys know the Brady Bunch, that's kind of what we were referencing. I know some of them had no clue what we were talking about. And then, like I said before, each week we go live with our 3 amazing hosts, Alex, Lucy, and Rowan, and they are some yappers, okay? They can talk about any topic, and it is amazing, but we don't like talking to ourselves. So please join the live. You can comment, you can come in. It's basically an open FaceTime call for the community to talk about politics, Gen Z youth leadership, as well as what we talked about in the academy.
Thanks, media team. They totally keep us laughing every time somebody has an idea. It's shared instantly, and then we decide if it's ready for public consumption or not. But I appreciate everyone's efforts into just observing what is out there and how do we hook them to come to us, and then we say, guess what? This is actually the topic we'll be talking about. So Fridays are always fun because it's a time that we wrap up that weekly session, and they talk about what happened that week, some what we call mic drop moments where our guest speakers have said something that's totally like mic drop worthy, or t-shirt merch worthy. Some of the students have also said some amazing things about connecting just pieces of information and sharing with us their insights and stuff. So we grab those a lot, we share them. So yeah, it's been really, really fun since our social media has been live. There's been some fun things on it as well, and our followers are increasing too. So Blossom, do you want me to continue sharing my screen?
Yes, that would be good.
Yes, I can.
Ian will take it on next. Ian is one of our amazing regional leads. So like I said before, we have a different system. The core team, Ellie, I, Kyra, and Larcy needed, more people with us because 20-something crew leads need people. You need other people to help you manage. So we have four region leads. Ian, Sam, Micaiah, and Mandy. They are all on the call except for Mandy. Mandy is actually on vacation. Woo, yay, her. But Ian will quickly just do a quick synopsis about the different sessions that we had recently and who we've had, the guest speakers, what we've talked about, the topics, all those type of things. So Ian, go ahead, take it.
Man, I don't even have to introduce myself when you do such a good job for me. But hi all, I'm Ian, as Blossom said, one of the region leads for this cohort. And like Blossom said, I'm going to just give short synopses of what we've had, the guest speakers we've had for these 5 sessions. And so first, even before the session started, we actually had Dr. Uhura Williams speak at the orientation. And he is an amazing speaker. He always, one of my favorite quotes from is, that history echoes. Yeah, but, doesn't repeat the echoes. I think he says so many good things. But then going on to our sessions, again, we had Dr. Uhura Williams speak during our sessions, Ahmed Baba from Rant Media, Ben Masuris, Jen Noble, and Jess Sablin from FGA, Feel Good Action. And from the start, the strong emphasis from Dr. Uhura reminded students of the importance of how democracy is an unfinished business that we are called to work on. Even though we may never see the future that we truly want, the rewards of our actions will be felt by the future of this country through remembering our past to protect our future, such as, history echoes. And, we all want merch with Dr. Uhura's quotes on it. We don't have it yet. Hopefully we'll get some soon. But he leaves so many lasting words in his sessions that every pretty much anybody that I know that has gone to like any of his sessions or like heard any of his speaks or talks has like always come out with something really deep. And then next session after that, we got to hear from Ahmed and the FGA team. And this was also really about the importance of media literacy and really focused also on the difficulties that can arise with today's age and how we have constant new technological developments such as AI. And, with Ahmed, we had a really fun activity where we were trying to decipher fake news versus real news. And, he would give us some wild quotes and most of them you'd go, oh, that's fake. Yeah, until, you see a quote of Donald Trump saying, I'm Batman. And, that was real, but I thought it was fake. But I guess who hasn't said that line, right? And then following up on that, FGA really reiterated the importance of registering to vote. They do a lot of really good work with other content creators, helping encouraging people to register and then also to vote. And they also have many tools where you can check to see if you're still registered to vote. You're right, Lily. Dr. Williams was robbed of first class on one of his trips, but overall, and then also last but certainly not least, we had Dr. David Domke speak at today's session, in which he focused on the fight for democracy and gave a very good talk focusing on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s arc. And the quote from that is, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And focusing generally on, the fight for democracy. But, there's still many amazing speakers to come. And I think we actually get Dr. Domke says he's coming back next week too. But many amazing speakers to come. And this is just really scratching the surface. But yeah, that's what we've had.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that summary, Ian. And this is just session 5, right, team, or session 6? And we have 20 sessions to go. So we are off to high standards when it comes to, participating in the academy and all the different speakers that are curated from our mindset module that really talks about the historical elements of the voting rights in voting history, fight and struggle to like modernizing a lot of the efforts to today. We get to hear from Ms. Bland and Mr. Charles Malden. And for those that have been on learning tours, they're wonderful people anyway. And then we meet them also virtually in the learning tour or in the academy. So like we said, Common Power is focused on 14 states this particular cycle. And if you're already doing stuff with us in field work, and you're already communicating with a Ben or a Puya or a Jessica, or you're probably participating already with us, traveled with us already. One of the things in the academy is that the students will self-select a state of focus. And so we have the beginning of our session, or our first session in the academy was to highlight what those states are and like the why. Why are we in Wisconsin? Why are we in Texas? What it means to go to New York. And so each of the crew leads had to go and kind of convince the students, like, come join my crew. Not just like, I'm a cool state, I'm a cool crew lead, but here's all the information that you're also going to want to learn about this particular state. So the first session, we did a battle of the states. So that gave an opportunity for the crew leads to be, to kind of recruit for the crew and, but also share some information about that particular state that either was within the political realm or just things that they thought would be fun facts of that state. So we kind of gave them some agency and we just said, you have a blank slide and then you can go ahead and put as many or as little things that you like on it. And happy to say they put a ton of effort into it that we wanted to share with you all tonight. But also we're going to do a condensed version just because we're a little bit longer or shorter time than the actual session itself. But because they put so much time and effort into it, we did go over on our session time. So with that, the Battle of the States, we're going to go through very quickly here and feature the state crew leads and why it's important and why they chose Washington and or Wisconsin and or California. And I know some of the students that we have here today are also, because we've already launched it, they belong to a state crew. All right, so up first, who do we have? We have the state of Washington.
So we have Eric and Cal. They are the two crew leads for this state. If y'all can come and unmute and say your name, your rising year for college, and probably 2 interesting facts about your state and 2 interesting facts about yourself.
Okay, well, thank you, Blossom. And good evening, everybody. And I also saw CP's own Mary Wilson join in, so I have to give Mary a little shout out. So yes, again, my name is Kyle. Hey, Kylie. I'm sorry, y'all. My name is Kyle Brantley, and my other crew lead partner is Eric Holtrop as well, and we represent the state of Washington with Action Academy cohorts. One thing about me, I am a rising senior attending the greatest, the best school in all of the country, 3 times women's national back-to-back champions, the University of South Carolina. And one fact I will say that I was fascinated to learn about Washington that Eric actually taught me was the fact that Eastern Washington and Western Washington is separated due to the Cascade Range. But I was more impressed and more surprised at the fact that, Eastern Washington is severely different than Western. When we think of Western Washington, we think of Seattle, as you see on the screen. You think of Seattle, the suburbs, the mountains. But when you think of Eastern Washington, it's just Idaho. That's how it was described to me. It's described as Idaho. So those were 2 things that were interesting to me. And people said in the chat that Southwest was the best. That's a lie. Everyone knows that West is the best overall. But yeah, I'll take it over to you, Eric.
Howdy, everyone. I'm Eric. I am a rising senior this year. I suppose an interesting thing about myself is that I've lived in Washington my entire life. I grew up in Sequim, Washington, and now I go to school in Pullman. Go Cougs. And another interesting thing is that I'm double majoring in computer science and mathematics.
All right, thank you both. Oh, go ahead, Blossom. We'll go to the next
I was
slide.
going to ask, is that it for you, Eric? Did he kind of steal your thunder a little bit?
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time.
Oh,
we
I'm
have to get through
sorry,
everything.
Eric. Oh, my bad.
All good,
Okay,
all good. We'll
That's
keep
perfectly
going.
fine.
There'll be other times, I promise. All right.
So next we have Montana and we have Rowan. So Rowan, just unmute, do the same thing that Eric and Kyle just did. She has a dog here. Hopefully she tells you who the dog is.
I can tell you about the dog first. That's Stella, or Tater Tot, which is one of the cutest dogs ever, I think. And my dad goes fly fishing in Montana every year and sends me photos. So basically, she's like the mascot of Montana. Like, that's obviously what she is. I love Tater. We all love Tater. Some facts about me. I am a rising senior. I was born and raised in Connecticut, but I go to college at Rider University in New Jersey. And I double major in elementary education and political science. So some things about Montana, though, is that Montana actually has an 81% registered voters turnout in 2022, which is really big. And I was not expecting that because it's just some state randomly over yonder. And also the state animal is a grizzly bear, which I think is so cute because like I'm so convinced I could befriend a bear. Like, give me a grizzly bear. I'm just gonna hug it. It's friend shaped. Teddy bears. Anyway, yeah, so Montana, we're the best state. We have so much fun and we're gonna learn a lot.
So Rowan, please do not hug bears. We are not teaching you that here in CP Future. I promise you guys, we tell her not to hug bears. But next we have Oregon. I think that Gabe corrected me last time in my pronunciation of Oregon, but we have Gabe and Leslie. You guys can unmute and go ahead, do your pitch.
Hi, all. So my name's Gabe, and I'm a rising sophomore in college, and I'm one of this year's Oregon State career leads. So I'm being co-led with with our lovely Leslie Campos. So a couple of fun facts about Oregon. It's been my home for the past 19 years of my life. And another cool fact that I recently searched up, and I totally forgot about because I actually passed by this on my way to school a lot, is that we have the world's smallest park.
Leslie?
Yeah, sorry. I was just waiting. I was like, is he done? No, but I was just wondering. I didn't know. Sometimes it was awkward for me. Hi, everyone. My name is Leslie. We are Team Oregon. An interesting fact about Oregon is we hear about gerrymandering a lot. And actually in Oregon, the Democratic Party in Oregon is actually guilty of a little bit of gerrymandering over there. That was a big part of my pitch over in Oregon. My name is Leslie, and I recently graduated from Gonzaga University. Sorry, I'm on the move right now. And I am moving over to Seattle next week. Those are two interesting things about me. And yeah, Gabe and I fought hard for Oregon, especially since they have recently implemented ranked choice voting. That was also a big part of our pitch. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie and Gabe. Next, we have California. We have Chidera and Ashley. Their personalities they're going to be enough. I don't even have to do too much. Go ahead.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Chidera. I'm a rising sophomore at Swarthmore College in PA. So just like one political fact and just like one fun fact. So in California, they don't use the term absentee ballots, and instead they just call it vote by mail, and it's basically the same process, but it's just like a different name because they want to be special or something. I don't know. I had to look into that. And then another fun fact about California is I think a lot of people know it's called the Golden State. I'm pretty sure all US states have like a state name, but California's is the Golden State because they pay homage to the gold rush. And I'm just gonna pass it off to Ashley.
Yeah, so awesome, Shadera. Yeah. So as you've heard from Awesome Shadera is we are California. And another fun fact is the fact that California is very diverse. They have literally a total of 10.7 million people, and 20% of them are immigrants. So obviously, not only does that contribute to the reason why California has is the highest contributor to the United States GDP last year, reaching literally $3.23 trillion. And so part of that, and the reason why we chose California is because California's high influential political and socially influence is the reason why a lot of people always find themselves trying to travel to California. And so yeah, that's a little bit of California's fun facts. And the blue state is worth 55 electoral votes. And that's not just for the president. And that's what makes California so cool and different, is it's actually both for the president and vice president. So yeah. And yeah, and just a little fun fact about me. Oh, sorry.
You can finish up, Ashley, your fun fact.
Alrighty, so just a little fun fact about me is that I love school and I really like politics. And yeah, back then when I was in high school and I first started using Instagram, I was really involved, like as I am now, with politics and stuff. And Gina Rodriguez, who plays Jane from Jane the Virgin, gave me a shout out. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I thought it was cool. And I'll pass it on to Shadera to give up her cool fact.
Yeah, just like, I'm from New Jersey and I just chose California because it's on the other side of the coast, and it's just like this was like a very interesting opportunity to see what life is like on the other coast. So blossom weekend.
Okay, well, thank you guys for your fun facts and telling us about California. Next, we have Texas, and we have Nini and Lucy. Nini is in a hurricane right now because she's in Texas, but if she can unmute, go ahead. Lucy, you'll probably take the front. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lucy, and I'm one of the crew leads for Texas. And we're supposed to say 2 fun facts about ourselves and 2 fun facts about Texas, correct? Or like our state.
Yeah, in your rising year.
In my rising year. Okay, I'm going into my senior year of college at Virginia Commonwealth University. I'm a psych major, education minor, on track to become a primary school teacher. And Texas, I mean, what's not to love about Texas? Like, it's Texas, come on. I just love the diversity as well. It's also another very diverse state. As you can see by our facts here on the screen. Texas was the 28th state to join this country, and Houston is actually one of the most populated cities in the country. So those are some fun facts about Texas, and I guess a fun fact about me is that I am Nigerian, so West African gang over here. And I'll pass it over to Nini.
Okay. Hi guys. I'm Nini. I'm from Texas. I just recently graduated from the University of Houston with a degree in political science and kinesiology, and I'm currently getting my doctorate in physical therapy. So like, let me see if I can show you guys. So we had a hurricane like 2 days ago. I can't flip my camera. You can't even tell anymore. But it's literally raining right now. Like it's literally still raining. We're still feeling the effects of the hurricane. But yeah, so some fun facts about Texas, or specifically Houston, where I'm from. We live in the most polarized political cities in Texas. So we have a ton of special elections almost every single cycle. So no matter what, it's like always an important election for us. Oh my gosh, I can't get back to my camera now. Like I can't even see my screen anymore. Okay, but yeah, so Texas, specifically Houston, is really polarized. We have a lot of back and forth, especially when it comes to citywide elections. So it's really crucial that a lot of people vote, but they don't. So it's really sad. Yeah. Let's see what else. I work for a couple different orgs here in the city, and so my priority basically is to register students on college campuses. So we've had a huge jump in youth voter registration here in Texas. It went from 23% registered college students to almost 64. So I'm really proud of that. And another fun fact about Texas is that Dr. Pepper was invented Dr. Pepper was invented in Dallas, which is really cool because it's one of my favorite sodas ever. So yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Nini. So to get through everything, we're gonna have Alejandra should be next. Oh, Alabama, GOV, and Ben, just say your name, rising year, one fun fact, and one interesting fact about your state, so we can get through the rest of it.
Okay, I'm Giovi. I'm a rising senior at Oglethorpe University with a major in business and a minor in computer science. And then I don't have a fun fact. Pass it to Ben.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben. I just recently graduated undergrad from Stanford with a double major in public policy and music composition, and I'll be doing my master's this next year, which should be fun. Something fun about Alabama is that bear wrestling was actually a problem in the 1990s. They had to pass some legislation to make sure it was illegal to wrestle bears. So I apologize, Rowan. You will not be able to hug a bear in the state of Alabama.
Okay, thank you guys so much. We're going to move on to Arizona. We have Hannah and Mariana as the crew leads. Mariana? Hannah? Well, in case they're not here, I think they are here, but they might be lagging. Hannah and Mariana, they're both very cool, amazing women. They are the crew leads for Arizona. And I believe that Mariana is actually Arizona based. And Hannah, she just likes the heat. So that's probably why she picked that. Next, we have Nevada and we have Alejandra.
Hi everyone. Again, I'm Alejandra. I'm a rising junior at Oglethorpe University, majoring in psychology. And one fun fact about Nevada, this may not be a shocker to you, but Las Vegas has more hotels than any other state in the US. And then one fun fact about me was that I was actually a state team lead in the summer for Nevada.
Thank you, Alejandra. We're going to move it on to the Midwest region. And we have Amari and Nolan for Ohio.
All right, I'll unmute. Hi everyone, I'm Amari. My camera's off right now because I'm currently at the nursing home. I'm a CNA for those of you who don't know. I'm a rising sophomore at a small private college in Richmond, Indiana called Earlham College. My intended major is pre-nursing, so my final goal would be to be a family doctor. But obviously CNA is like the first stepping stone. A small fact about Ohio is that Ohio is called the mother of presidents because of 8 US presidents were either born there or had strong ties to the state. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna pass it to Nolan now.
Nolan, are you here with us?
Nolan is on a road trip. As you can see, our crew leads like to multitask, so we're gonna move right along to Michigan. We have wonderful Miss Chloe. Go
Hi,
ahead,
if you click it
Chloe.
again, the name will pop up. I don't know why it does that. But my name is Chloe. I'm from Indiana. I actually go to Ball State University. My major is history and my minor is French. I chose Michigan because I'm from Indiana and I hope to eventually live in Michigan one day. One really awesome fact about it is they have actually switched, when it comes to voting, they have switched presidential parties 8 times since the Great Depression, and Biden only won by a 2% margin in 2020. So we're gonna get on that.
Thank you so much, Chloe, for making sure that we're going to get on that. Next, we have Yannicka and Lily for Wisconsin. Lily is at an orientation, but
I'm here. I'm here, guys. So I am the co-lead for Wisconsin. My showing on my screen right now, which is awkward, but I can say that my fun fact is I'm an orientation leader. I'm at orientation right now. And a fun fact about Wisconsin is that I have 2 fun facts I want to say. I'll say one. Okay, they had like a really high voter turnout in 2020 that was like suspicious because it was so high, but it was like deemed not suspicious because it was just like real. Everyone was like, "Whoa, that's way too high," because it was like 90%. But like they just have good voting turnout. People love to vote out there, which I think is amazing. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, Lily, for coming during your busy time of orientation. She's a leader somewhere else. Then we have Alex for Pennsylvania.
Hey y'all, so I'm Alex. I'm born and raised in Maryland, so going to PA, it's not really much of an issue for me. And I am also lucky enough to have been able to work with Governor Moore. And honestly, I picked PA because I understand the political climate due to knowing a lot of people who are from PA from school. I'm a political science major with a studies in women and gender minor, and I'm going to be a senior.
Great. Thank you so much, Alex. Next, we have New York with Elizabeth.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Elizabeth. I am a rising sophomore for New York. And well, I guess a fun fact about me is my favorite food out of that list of food is rice and stew. And my favorite song, if I had to pick, would be Novocaine by Frank Ocean. And why New York? I am from New Jersey, but if you think, oh, why somebody from New Jersey speaking for New York? That's because like New York is that like your favorite cousin, or your favorite sibling that you stand up for every single time. So that is how us people from New Jersey see New York. We have our moments of arguing, but we always stand up for each other. Okay, so a few fun facts about New York. I'll pick one or two. So let me see. The potato chip was invented in Saratoga, New York. So, that's pretty cool. Not really what you would expect from New York, but New York has a way of surprising you here and there. And another one, if you are from New York and you know anybody from New York, please let them know early voting begins in person 10 days before election day and ends 2 days before election day. So please spread the news, spread the word. And like I always say, your future and the future of the country is in your hands. So always be prepared for anything that happens. Thank you.
And lastly, thank you so much, Elizabeth. But lastly, and not least, North Carolina, we have Firdaus and Davis. They had less time, so we're going to give them an extra minute with theirs right now. They had less time during the session. Go ahead, y'all.
Okay. Hi, I'm Davis. I'm a rising senior at Charleston Southern University.
And hi, my name is Firdaus. I'm a rising sophomore at Carnegie Mellon University, and we are Team North Carolina.
A fun fact about me is I used to play the cello for 8 years. I don't really tell anybody that, but every time I say it, people are really surprised. So thought it was a fun fact.
And a fun fact about me was that I was born at midnight, so my mom got to choose my birthday. And fun facts about the state of North Carolina was that Pepsi was invented in New Bern, North Carolina by a local pharmacist named Caleb Bradham.
And a historical fact about North Carolina is that North Carolina has a rich political history, including the Greensboro sit-ins, which were nonviolent protests against segregation in the South. And then the reason I picked North Carolina was I'm just close to it, so it just makes sense because I live in South Carolina. So
And yeah, a voting fact about North Carolina is that it's an important swing state in the 2024 presidential election. And Davis and I wanted to like exemplify that we are the future of democracy. And by choosing, well, this was to like pitch her state, but by like choosing North Carolina, like you are embarking on an exciting journey. And we wanted to like show that it's a fun roller coaster with a smooth ride to the polls, full of action and the opportunity to save democracy. And thank you for listening.
yeah. Oh, I want to add the roller coaster thing. Carowinds is an amusement park there that's really big if you live in the South or like the Carolinas. So we did like Carowinds theme.
So thank you all crew leads for sharing. We know we had to speed through that because we want to still be on time. Thank you to the students that are here. So you can privately message them. They can tell you why they selected the state they selected. But now we're going to have Jessica and I think another department just do some department updates. So field work, Jessica, go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say that those were such great presentations. And I speak as an alumni from Action Academy that it's so cool to see the program grow bigger and better every single year. This is huge. And it looks really, really cool. And I'm excited to see that there'll be so many people out there with us in the field this fall. So that's exciting. I'm Jessica from the Fieldwork Department. I'm just here to share a couple updates of what we've done in just this last month in June. Fieldwork has been doing a lot this year. This year's a really big year for fieldwork. And I'll just go over some of the highlights. First off, we went to Nevada, and actually Chloe and Alejandra, who are crew leads on this call, were the team leads for that, including Jeff. And we led one of our biggest teams yet on the ground with 50 volunteers, and we knocked on about 3,500 doors. And this was really important because we were participating in a super competitive primary, and about 3 out of our 4 candidates went through. So it was a really, really great time with them. And we were definitely door knocking in over 100-degree weather. So to have a bunch of students, a bunch of educators, a lot of new volunteers come with us on this for their first trip was really, really exciting. And so I want to say shout out to the people who led that team that are on this call. And then we also went straight into Arizona. There was a small group of us who went straight to Arizona in Phoenix. And it was a small group of about 7 people. And we were small, but we were super mighty. We knocked on about 1,000 doors for our partners, Lucha, who are amazing, amazing grassroots organization there. And as you know, the primary is coming up in July, and Arizona is one of the biggest states that we're focusing on this year. I think we have about 6 or 7 trips to Arizona. So if you missed out in June, there's going to be another one, September, October, November. So don't worry, there'll be more. And then Washington, in our home base, we had a lot of exciting times here in Washington. We actually had the entire Action Academy crew leads come out for a weekend, which is that top picture in the right. And they came out to do a little bit of door knocking and petition gathering with us in Kent. And we also did some work in Vancouver. And so I just want to plug that if you guys haven't been out with us yet and you're scared to do door knocking, definitely join in on our weekends of action for Washington. Those are going to continue every single weekend in Yakima Valley and Vancouver. Jenny, who is on this call, is one of those leads for that. They do amazing trainings, training 104 about how to talk to voters there. And also it's in our home state. So if you're here in Seattle, it's an easy drive and you guys should definitely get out there. We'll be defending a U.S. House seat in Vancouver, and we want to get some progressive Latinx candidates into office in Yakima. So definitely come by. And that was our update for fieldwork in June in terms of state team trips. And if you want to go to the next slide. All right. And we also had some amazing gatherings here at home because we're definitely spinning up. We're getting busier and busier, and we need as many as people to get involved as possible. And so Fieldwork has been putting on a lot of in-person events here in Seattle. So if you're able to attend, thank you so much. And if you haven't yet, we're going to have so many more coming up. But in June, we hosted a presidential debate watch party at Stoop Brewing. There was lots of beer, there was pizza, and we had a huge, huge turnout. I know the debate itself wasn't, the best thing, didn't feel the most reassuring time, but being there in community was super special, and we hope you guys come out there with us again. And we also had another fieldwork gathering where we did postcard writing in community to Native voters in Arizona. And it was also a space for new people to come in to learn about Common Power, to learn how to get involved. And we'll be having those more again in August and upcoming into the general election season. So you guys should definitely come out with us when you're here. And my last update, and I'll let you switch slides, is actually official invites into our upcoming events because our general election season is officially kicking off in a couple of weeks. This is when we're going to launch all of our state teams. So all those states that you just saw in the last half an hour, those are states that we're actually going to be door knocking in. A lot of the crew leads here are going to be team leads and leading groups of 30, 40 volunteers out there in swing states, in competitive districts, so that we can get out the vote and of course win in November. But all of that launches in August. So I really hope that you guys come out, come to either our virtual or in-person events. That's where you're going to learn how you can plug in. And I'm going to actually post both of those links in the chat right now, so you guys can RSVP immediately if you're interested. But our first one is our call to action general election kickoff, and that will be on August 1st at 5 p.m. This is a completely virtual event, and that is actually where you're going to learn a lot about the logistics, the dates, the times of where we're going and when in the fall. I know you've heard lots of things being thrown around. We're definitely operating in over a dozen states this year, so it can get really confusing. And so this kickoff is definitely the place to be if you want to know when and where, when to plug in and when to start traveling with us. And then super special if you're here in Seattle, but we'll be having our volunteer fair at the Museum of History and Industry, which is just by and down the water, and it's super beautiful. And we're going to actually have a featured live panel of Democratic Party chairs from swing states. And it's going to be special. We're going to have a live panel moderated by us in fieldwork. And it'll be a space to have food, to have drinks, to hear from everyone in Common Power, not just us who live here in Seattle, but actually all of our staff will be flying in. So it's super cool to actually get to meet people who you always see on these Zoom calls. So if you're in town, definitely stop by. It'll be August 3rd, 4 to 6 p.m. And that's it. Those are all the updates for fieldwork. And I will pass it back to Blossom or Larcy.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for that. That is all the updates that we have right now for the departments. I'm actually going to pass it over to Larcy to wrap it up, or if you have any additional thoughts.
So one of the cool things that the crew leads always get to do when they do their Seattle retreat is that they do some civic engagement here in Washington. A lot of us will travel to the states that they're from. So South Carolina, where Sam is from, we door knock in his state, and Michigan and Wisconsin. And so when they get to come to Seattle, they door knock in our neighborhood. So it's a really cool exchange. And that's why whenever we put our itinerary together for the Seattle retreat, we always ask, what can we do? That's a weekend of action. We also hosted voter registration on one of the days that they were here. And again, going through and practicing the mechanics that they're going to do, either in their own backyard or if they decide to do when they decide to travel with us. So the rest of you Action Academy students, thank you for hanging out with us. This is officially an action hour, but I hope there's something here that you heard that you maybe is interested a little bit more, or some folks that you're seeing beyond the academy that you're like, okay, this is a pretty legit place to be. But if you're in the Seattle area or Washington and want to come to any of our in-person stuff, lots of information that's out there on our website. And for those of you that are generally in our ecosystem, our supporters, our donors, our volunteers, like this is our cohort. These are the people that you will be traveling with in the fall also, and another handful of leaders. And what we saw in kind of an average set of students beyond the academy or after the academy, that 2/3 of them actually end up traveling with us into the fall, or at least throughout the year. So that's a good chunk of the students who are on standby, who could at any time can spend a weekend with us door knocking and win these particular elections just by our margin. So it's been a really, really great system and a great pipeline. And I hope that you all are excited to meet them in person as much as we are. We get to spend as much time as we can virtually. But for more information on anything, go to commonpower.org / I think it's how to volunteer, or just navigate the website if you haven't done so already. Reach out to the field team if you want more information on anything that you heard today. And or for anyone else who wants to learn a little bit more about Action Academy and CP Future, please reach out to me, Larcy at commonpower.org. Happy to talk about any details of the program, but we're definitely excited. Up next in our series of guest speakers, we have Dr. Scott, and she's always phenomenal. She's going to talk about facially neutral laws and literacy tests. So again, all of these systems that undermine our basic rights and our democracy. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. It's officially after credits Blossom for anyone who wants to stay behind.